Good morning or good afternoon to all our webinar attendees today. And welcome to the webinar titled How to Optimize Your Content Supply Chain for Faster Time to Market with Content Orchestration. We have a great session mapped out for you all together with our main speakers from Qonqord and Squadra. My name is Magdalena and I'm Product Marketing Manager at WoodWing, and I will be moderating the conversation today. First, I would like to introduce our main speakers who will be joining us. We welcome Hilde Hagen, a process consultant at Qonqord, which is one of our WoodWing partners that helps brands and publishers to orchestrate their content creation and publishing processes. And Roger Ubech, a senior professional and co-founder of Squadra, which is a knowledge-based, vendor-agnostic and solutions-driven consultancy organization. Hilde has a long year experience in digital asset management, content orchestration, and publishing processes. And at Qonqord, she's advising clients on how to optimize their workflows for content creation management and distribution to all media channels. And Roger Beck has, again, a vast experience of more than 20 years with different industries and large international organizations. And he helps help them to digitally transform their process and also resolve data and digital asset management inefficiencies in order to become the real digital omnichannel players. So to begin with, I would like to first cover some general housekeeping rules and, of course, go through the agenda for today. We will start with an overview and definition of content orchestration. Then our speakers will showcase a real use case from Yamaha Motor Europe. And after that, they will point out to their main advices on how to resolve content supply chain inefficiencies and achieve competitive advantage. All attendees are currently on mute, but please feel free to use the question box on the right side on the GoToWebinar control panel to submit any of your questions throughout the session. And we have spared a few minutes at the end of the webinar to try to answer them all. Well, we have a lot to cover, and I suggest we get started. Hilde and Roger, could you please put your screens on and well, start with the presentation. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to this webinar. So first of all, I think it's good to have a look at why content orchestration. I think that's a good starting point before we go into more detail. So yeah, why is content orchestration important? I think a very nice comparison is that companies and brands are becoming more like publishers every day, and that means that they have to create a lot of digital content for example, for brand awareness, loyalty, customer experience, but also for their SEO. And in combination with their multi-channel content strategies, and that means and I think they realize that means that a lot of content, really a lot of content, has to be created. Yeah, a couple of examples, and you are aware of that from practice. Creative designs, digital assets such as pack shots, visual identity, banners, but also animated images, combined images used in bonus folders for retailers, for example, but also text files like product descriptions, brand and commercial information, recipes in case of food retailers, for example, store information, copy for printed and marketing materials. That's also a very good example. And of course, FAQs on websites. But you also have content like videos and TV commercials, and audio for radio commercials and music. Yeah, and in reality, the list is much longer. I worked for some retailers, and they showed me an impressive list of content to be created. Maybe Hilde, you also remember that we worked together on a same customer. They had a huge list of content to be created. But for companies, this also means that there are a lot of activities to be executed. Activities like planning of campaigns, creation of artwork and designs, but also production of the digital assets itself, to store the assets in a central place, and to approve the content before publication and distribution to the different channels. What does this mean? This means for teams within your organization that they have to collaborate both inside your organization, but also with external agencies like creative agencies, but also translation agencies. A couple of examples: product managers, senior managers, but also copywriters, photographers, graphical designers. They all have to work together. Taking this into account, all the content created, all the activities, and the collaboration required. That means that content orchestration can bring a solution for that. To manage this complexity. Then, if we go to the next slide, now that we know what content orchestration aims for, I'm curious if you recognize the following challenges within your own organization. One of the things we often see is that organizations operate in silos, teams operate in silos. People can't easily cooperate, even if they want so. So they simply do not have the supportive processes and supportive tools available. This means that content, the same content is created. Let me say it differently: different versions of the same content are created, and this results in disconnected customer journeys across the different channels. At one of our customers, we saw that, and I think that's a very nice example. That brand style guidelines were not consistently applied in all the channels. So customers, they notice that, and I don't think that's a very good thing. And this is reinforced by a lack of standardization and automation of processes. So what we also experience is that manual and duplicated data entry and record management in different systems instead of an integration with back office system in which you easily can retrieve the information from, for example, a PIM system, an ERP, or a DAM system. Hilde, what other challenges do you see often in practice?
Yeah, what I see is because processes are organized in silos, you see also that solutions for new ways of working are added to the tooling which are already used in the tooling of the silo. So, for example, a silo is creating content for a specific channel, and the company would like to publish to multiple channels, then to the already existing tooling, an extra module or an extra process is added, so they are able to deliver the content to the other channels, even if the content doesn't fit the needs of the other channel. And what we also see is that, really thousands of files are stored everywhere. So on file servers, cloud storages, disk, local computer. But what I even see are visuals which are stored in a design, and yeah, it's hard to find all those files. So people cannot find them. We'll recreate files over and over again, but yeah, there's also a risk to find old or wrong version of a file and place it in a creative or publish it to a channel. So yeah, we would like to start a poll because we are curious if you recognize those challenges, and what are your challenges of your organization?
So as Hilde said, we're launching this poll. It will be active for up to 1 minute, so you can all answer, and we will share the results with you all after everybody answers within the first 60 seconds. Well, we passed 1 minute from the poll being open. I am going to close the poll and share the results with you all on the screens.
Okay.
Can you see?
Okay, so
Yes.
that's yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 and number 4,
Yeah.
most important ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I will go back to the slide deck now. Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please continue.
All right. Yeah, thanks for filling the poll. Good to see. Yeah, so this is just a summary of yeah what we see in practice. The top challenges faced by organizations. Yeah, so you can have a look at it, and the presentation will be shared afterwards.
Yeah, we can go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah, before going into more detail, I think it's good to answer the question: what is content orchestration? In our opinion, content orchestration is a strategic approach to increase efficiency, productivity, and a result of that, value in the content supply chain. People have more time to do value-added activities. So why strategic? Yeah, if executed very well, it delivers you competitive advantage by doing so. So it aims for minimizing all the bottlenecks and silos we discussed before within the content supply chain, to reduce the time and cost associated with the planning of all activities required to publish and distribute content to all the channels. And what I think is very important, and that's good to understand, it is not only introducing technology, but it is optimizing how people, process, and technology are working seamlessly together. And I think that that's really what it is about. It's not only the technology. Yeah, I think that's we can go to the next slide, Magdalena. Hilde, can you tell us more about what content orchestration is? I see we have a very nice picture.
Yeah, what is content orchestration? Yeah, what we see is that the need for high quality content is exploded over the years because of the growth of social media, but also trends like experience management or personalization. But what we also see is that content teams still work side by side, teams who are creating web content or social or print. And they are without leveraging each other's content or resources, people or source systems. And Content Station is all about centralize your content, your processes, work together and publish to multiple channels. In a content orchestration platform, different modules can be included. Modules like digital asset management or workflow and headless CMS. So these content can be centralized and created. But mostly in a content orchestration platform, you write or you create assets for products or for services. So mostly we see that upstream source systems are interfaced with the Content Station platform. Systems like product information systems, ERP, product life cycle management systems, but even databases where recipes are stored, because sometimes you would like to write something or to publish something about a recipe. So all content is connected to each other. And each content component is created in and managed in the system which matches the needs for that content part. So finally, those content will come together and the different teams will work together within the platform, can create the content, and from the content we can distribute across all channels. Magdalena, you can go to the next slide. The real use case. Well, a few years ago, Yamaha had already several challenges. A challenge, they would like to streamline their content, create management, they would like to localize and distribute for online and offline channels, and they are localized in Europe in 26 countries. There was also the need to speed up the time to market for new product releases, and they would like to improve the marketing support for those 26 European countries. So we can go to the next slide. So what Yamaha did, what we did was we defined an architecture for the products, the services, information, assets, and metadata. Yamaha already used WoodWing as a DOM, and they selected in River PIM as their PIM system. PIM is the lead system, and all information about products and services are stored within the PIM system. Text available in the PIM system is available in all languages of the 26 countries. PIM is linked to DOM, and DOM and PIM will provide the information to assets in DOM. On the other hand, DOM provides asset information to the PIM products. Information like aspect ratio, rating, asset URLs, So they create a centralized system with a complete set of information if it go for products and services. In the next step, they connected and they integrated all publication and communication channels. And Yamaha is using Adobe Experience Manager for their website and the press room. And these channels are fed fully automatically. WoodWing Studio, including a publication organizer module, is used to create PDF brochures. And the publication organizer is based on InDesign. The guideline and the brochure rules are applied within templates, but the end users do not need any design or InDesign skills. They can work with an online tool within the publication organizer to create those brochures. And headquarter employee will start the process. He or she will create the English master brochure in the workflow, and when the English master is approved, distributors all over the countries can create their local version of the brochure and print it or distribute it by email or somewhere else. The output of the publication organizer is a PDF file. So, Roger.
Okay, that sounds good, Hilde. Very interesting, and this is a very interesting case. So let me discuss the outcome for Yamaha Motors. With the implementation of the platform brought by Qonqord and WoodWing, the European headquarters was able to centrally coordinate all sales and marketing activities for the company. And for the European markets, including all their product lines. And it's not only motorbikes, by the way. They also have outboard motors, personal watercrafts, and snowmobiles. So that are a couple of product lines. Very, very impressive. Via the platform, Yamaha arranged the automatic production of what Hilden already explained, 26 different language versions of the brochures, and they are sent via a workflow solution to 3,000 dealers, which is really an impressive number. So the platform improved collaboration both internally within Yamaha, but also with their creative agencies. And in the end, and that's what it is all about. It resulted in further cost reductions for Yamaha, especially for the production of the brochures itself. High flexibility. They were able to submit changes in between. And a faster time to market. Okay, so that is the case Yamaha. Very, very interesting. So if we go to the next, so how to resolve content supply chain inefficiencies. Hilde and I will take you through our approach. This is the approach, and we will go step by step through all parts of this picture. So the first step is defining your strategy. The strategy, the content and publication strategy is derived from the business drivers, which are very important, and objectives, and set by senior management. So think about business drivers like brand awareness, growth, sustainability, which is a very recent theme for most companies. Customer experience, personalization, very important, and also what we saw in the Yamaha case, localization, which is also a very important business driver. And of course, increasing the share of wallet. So the strategy is the stepping stone for the next step in the whole process, which is campaign and operational production plans, and KPIs defined. And these KPIs are very important later on in the process to measure performance and doing the review. So the next step is the plan, creating the plan. So the strategy we discussed before is translated into into a list of let's say returning and new targeted topics. If you talk about returning, then think about seasonal topics. They return every year, like Christmas or Easter, or there are a couple of examples.
Or clothing, which
exactly
which are seasonal related.
Yeah, correct. So all those topics will be included in a commercial annual plan. A lot of companies, and maybe you recognize this, they still work with Excel, so they do not have the tooling to create these commercial annual plans. And so then these commercial plans are translated into operational plans, which can be a tactical or operational plan. And after this, all these themes and topics are translated into a concept briefing, and based on this concept briefing, then you can start the next step, which is the production of the creatives, the creative work, and the digital assets, the campaigns, etc. So the concept consists of key visuals, campaign scripts, but also very important, the brand guidelines. So Hilde, please, can you tell us more about the next steps in our approach?
Yeah. The next step in our approach is production, because the plans are created, the key visuals are there and translated to the touch points, so we know how the campaign will look like. And now we can produce. So the execution phase will start. Assets, text, creatives are created, proved, and approved. And yeah, we would like to do this in a workflow, where also the campaign guidelines and other things are applied. So things are created in the right way. In a content orchestration platform should facilitate those functionalities. So there needs to be a process, the data and metadata structure should be defined, usage rules, and also the authorization rules needs to be applied within the content orchestration platform. The final step in the production are the final assets, final text, and the final creatives, and then we can start the next step, the pre-publication. And this step is the channel-related preparation to meet the needs of a specific channel. So you can think of things as assembly. So there is a campaign, and you will pick the things which are needed for a channel to communicate about the campaign. But also applying templates, and sometimes manual fine-tuning is also needed, but hopefully things will go automatically. We see a difference between the offline and the online publication streams. And an important difference is that offline streams have to start earlier in the process. So even maybe not all content is already produced because you have to deliver at the right time. when there is a new launch of a new motorcycle, for instance, for Yamaha, then a team will start working on the offline production earlier than the online production. And what we also see is that the offline pre-production is less flexible than the online one. You can, it's hard to modify at the end of the process. So what you see in offline processes is a very strict workflow with fixed deadlines, approvals, to deliver the right quality at the right time. But we see also pre-publication for the online channels. For instance, the homepage or a newsletter. In those cases, you also want to do a pre-selection within all the content of a campaign, do the sorting, and prepare the publication. After the pre-publication phase, the content will be published. So this could be the prepared publication, which will be published or distributed. In case of offline, it will be printed and distributed, or it will be published to the home site, or newsletters will be sent to the readers. But in case of product pages, you see that content is directly consumed out of the centralized content store, mostly fully automated. So you see those difference between those streams.
Yeah, maybe Hilde, just a question on, and that's what we often see is that if you have so much channels, that also means a lot of systems in which you have to publish the content, which in practice means that you have to do it manually if you do not have the right integrations. That's also your experience?
Yeah, that's my experience. Then, the content is created, maybe centralized, but then still a lot of work needs to be done within the preparations. Yeah. Yes, and
for very large companies, that can be hundreds of systems in which you have to enter the content.
Yeah, or interface with.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah, that's also very complex. Yeah.
Okay. Shall I explain the last two steps? The last two steps in this approach are performance and review. This is really closing the cycle. So in the performance step, campaign results, but also results of individual assets and productions are measured. And to do so, you have to collect, of course, all the information from the different sources, channels, and touch points. So then this data will be analyzed against the predefined KPIs we discussed in the first step, strategy. And so based on this, you go to the next step in the process, which is also the last step in the process, which is the review step. In this step, you review the results of the performance phase. You have the lessons learned, and these may lead to adjustments to your strategy, but also adjustments to all your marketing plans, for example. And what we noticed in practice is that the role of communication management is increasing in these kinds of situations. So they propose adjustments during the whole year, and maybe Hilde, you can also explain on that a little bit based on your experience.
Yeah, what you see when you are monitoring and you are reviewing, then you see things maybe are not working that well, but it could also be that it worked very well, and then you want to do more campaigns on that subject, and then there is communication management, because the marketing management is a list of topics which are planned over the year, and they will go to the next week or to the next campaign. And communication management is all about interact on the moment which is happening right now.
Yeah.
So now it's raining and people would like to buy your umbrella, or there is an event and it's very successful because the Netherlands is winning. We're from the Netherlands. And you would like to do more campaigns, sub-campaigns on that subject.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you see currently. There's a lot of things happening in the world, you know that, and yeah, that also means that sometimes you have to adjust your annual plan.
Yeah, there was a grocery during Corona who had a topic which needed to be skipped because you cannot do that after all the groceries were empty. So you see, you have to interact.
Correct. Yeah.
On your plan.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Then maybe Hilde, can you explain on this one? This
is the summary of the wheel. We were discussed the steps you saw in the wheel. So we created a summary, the strategy, plan, concept, production, pre-publication, publish, performance, and after that review. And
that closes the cycle.
And that closes the cycle.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So we can go to the next slide.
Okay. So what I said before, it's content orchestration is about the combination of people, processes, technology. But of course, you also have the technology, and this answers what tools can you help to achieve content orchestration. So there's a wide range of different tools in the market available, whether or not combined in one single solution. But also companies choose for a best of breed approach that supports your content orchestration. So just a couple of examples. So you have planning tools for campaign and operational planning, product information management systems, Hilden already explained, will be the single source for all your multilingual product information. You have your digital asset management systems, which is the single source for all images, renditions, artwork, and storytelling content. Publishing software, which contains the editorial workflow management systems, but also the multi-channel publishing platforms. And it would be nice if you have the right integrations with all the different channel systems to avoid all the manual work. You have the headless content management systems for creating and managing websites and digital content. And last but not least, the performance tooling to measure your product campaign publication performance. Just a couple of examples of tooling which can be used, and of course, what you see on the right side, the PIM and DAM solutions are very prominent and very important in this. Okay. Then, having said all this, so what is the competitive advantage of content orchestration? So Hilden, what is your view on that?
What we see is that content orchestration speed up your content chain process, which can result in a faster time to market. But you can also create content in a brand neutral way. So you can reuse the content or publish it to different brands. That's what we see. But what we also see is that because of content orchestration, you save time. Yeah, it will be freeing up resources, and you can invest them elsewhere. So I wrote down a few examples. You could use the time to have more, to spend more time on your strategy and your content planning, but you could also spend more time on the creatives. So it fits better the goal of your campaign, what you would like to achieve. But you can also choose to create more campaigns, which means exposure and new opportunities. So what you see is that as a company, there will arise new possibilities through content orchestration that you can focus on. And yeah, that's very nice, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Then, yeah, to finalize this webinar, what are the key takeaways? Yeah, as said before, content orchestration is a strategic approach. It increases your efficiency, productivity, and as a result of that, and that's also what you explained, Hilde, it saves time, and you can spend that time in a more value-added way. And what I already said, strategic, because if you do it right, then it brings a competitive advantage for your company. Content orchestration is about people, process, and technology. It's not only technology. I want to underline that once and for all. A content hub is at the heart of your content operation. It is let's say the home base for all the digital content stored in a central place. I think that's what you really want to achieve, to store it in a central place. Yeah. We know companies, they have many DOM systems or systems where they store their content. If you can centralize it, you will really have the benefits of that. So the Content Hub as a collection of tools and capabilities to streamline content processes and to make, and that's what it is about, to make the life of marketing and creative teams much easier. Yeah, so it is really the winning combination of cost savings on one side, productivity gains, and focus on more value editing activities that creates in the end sustainable content operations and deliver value to the customers. So that are the key takeaways of this webinar. So
yeah, are there any questions?
Thank you for the nice presentation. I'm looking into it. We are awaiting questions from the audience, but in the meantime, I would like to ask you about regarding your process or approach that you use as consultants to analyze the current state of things and propose an optimized solution or strategy to resolve the content supply chain inefficiencies or challenges for your customers. Can you a bit elaborate on that one?
Yes. Yeah, what we do is when we try to help a customer, we start with the discovery phase. So we would like to know what's the current situation, the as-is situation, and what are the problems of the current situation that they need to be solved. What are the requirements? All things will be collected in the discovery phase. From that information, we will start to create the to-be situation. Where would they like going to in a certain period? And with that information, we will create a blueprint. After that, selecting the tooling and finally analyze what the gap is between the as is and the to be situation, because it needs to be implemented. And mostly it's hard to implement it at once. So we have to define logical implementation steps, which can be handled by the organization itself. And you can implement tooling, but when the organization is not ready, they will not use it or are not able to use it in the right way.
Right. I think, Hilde, that is a very important aspect in this, that change management in these kind of projects is very, very important, because what we already told you about, you have the different silos, the different teams, and they all want to do a good thing, but not always aligned with the objectives of the company. And so change management is a very, very important aspect.
Yeah. So it's all about implementing processes, tooling, data structures, but also help the organization to work within the new tooling, use the new data structures, because then only a new implementation will be successful.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you said, also when I introduced Roger and yourself, that you're vendor agnostic, and then you don't choose, but you advise on the workflow optimization. My question is, how do you see as consultants working with clients on an everyday basis to help them achieve their competitive advantage in terms of optimizing their content supply chain? How do you see the future of marketing or MarTech technologies, and where, in your opinion, is the software industry heading? I mean, you see a lot of vendors, a lot of new products on the market, but what is your opinion?
We all know the graphical pictures about all the solutions which are available in the MarTech landscape. And that's really, really huge. So there are a lot of tools available. It depends a little bit. Some companies they really want to have the best of breed solutions. Other companies they are searching for a one-fits-all solution, which is also fine, but it is not always that a one-fits-all solution provides you with all the functionalities required. So what we see in practice is, most of the time companies go for more a best of breed approach. And so that's Is that an answer to your question, Magdalena?
Yes. Hilde, do you have anything to add regarding this?
No, I agree with Roger. Yeah, okay. I see the same.
Because we don't have a lot of questions, I will like to finalize the webinar with one final question from my endpoint. Any last words or advice from you for our audience, judging by the problems they shared with you in the beginning in the poll?
Yeah. Well, I have one. Try to tackle a challenge from an end-to-end perspective. So, and we saw that thousands of assets was ranked very high. I thought 55%. So if that is your problem, try to define the end-to-end process and then try to solve it.
And for you, Roger, similar?
I think I agree with that. The other thing was, I think, which was also a high score, the integrations, I remember well.
The lack of standardization and automation of processes. It was, again, 54%, so it was very high.
Right. Yeah, so and that's also Hilde and I. We worked on the same project, and yeah, what we not only talked to the marketing departments and the creative teams and external agencies, but the involvement of IT was also very important in that project because of the complexity of system landscapes, and you all will recognize that, and that means a lot of integrations. So yeah, involve IT also in these kind of projects.
Great. Thank you. That was my last and final question, and thank you for the advices and all the expertise you shared today with us.
Okay.
I would like to thank all of the attendees that joined us today during the live session, and of course, in case they missed some part of our presentation, we will share the recording afterwards with everybody that registered. Again, thank you immensely, Roger and Hilde. It was a very good session.
Yeah.
I learned a lot from you, and it was a very fruitful for me as a product marketeer to learn about the issues faced by other organizations, and hopefully you and ours as WoodWing, we can help them overcome their content supply chain inefficiencies. Thank you once again. Wishing everybody a lovely day, and
have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
bye.
Bye-bye.